Welcome to the Holly Area Community Show. I'm your host, Jody, and I'm here with Chief of Police of Holly, Glenn Hansen.
Thank you.
Welcome. We're just here to talk about what's going on the police force, and you've been in your position about 6 months now, is that correct?
Yep, I was hired in December of 2010, and I've been here just about a half year now.
And you're still standing and in the upright position, so congratulations.
Thank you. It's been very nice.
Oh, I was going to ask you, how is it going?
Very well. People are very cordial out here, and I've enjoyed the time that I've had out here.
Wonderful. And where are you living currently?
Currently I'm in Moorhead, but we're
Moorhead.
looking to move out here.
Not too bad of a commute then.
No, not bad at all.
Yeah, well, wonderful. It's summertime, sort of. Today it's raining, like it has been, but summer is basically here. School is out. So I thought we could just talk a little bit about the sort of changes that you see in your work during the summertime.
Well, one thing I wanted to talk about was bike safety. I see a lot of the kids, now that they're not in school, on their bicycles. I would encourage the parents to have them wear helmets and the kids to wear helmets as well, because falling on a bicycle, you could get injured easily. But I've had some complaints of some of the people riding bike in amongst traffic, and I certainly would hate to see anyone get hit. So they need to follow the rules and wear helmets and safety gear.
In my day, I don't think there were any helmets. That was a long time ago. So I know that has changed dramatically, but are there still a lot of kids that do not wear helmets when they ride?
Yeah, I'd say there's quite a few kids that don't wear wear a bike helmet. I would like to see that, be raised where more people are wearing. Even adults should be wearing the bike helmets.
Sure. But there's no laws on that now, or is there a law about
No,
wearing
there's
a bike?
no law against it. It's just a safety issue.
It's encouraged.
Right.
Yeah. And so you have heard a few people saying that the bikes and the cars are interacting how you don't want them to, and
I can understand. The kids get out of school, they're excited to be playing and riding their bikes and going different places. I know there's activities all through the city with the pool being open and baseball and softball, but they need to be careful when they ride their bikes and to stay observant so they don't get close to being hit by a car.
Right. So there's the kid factor. There's more kids during the day, obviously, around. What are some other changes that you see in the summer?
Well, there's a lot of events going on throughout the community, so the weekends, I think, pick up with people coming into town. The rodeo here last weekend was a success. Holly had a large attendance to the parade and to the rodeo. It was very successful.
There were a lot of people in town that were not accustomed to having that volume, but once a year. So, yeah, how does that make things more complex for you?
Well, more people get outside, so the calls for service are going to rise because, hot weather sometimes can create some fights, disturbances, but just the general people getting out, and it's nice to see that they're out walking or riding bike or going into the park areas and so forth. Right.
Yeah. No, I drove past the rodeo too Saturday night, and there were many, many, many cars there, and I wondered about how that goes, how you manage the traffic and the people during that time. But that you're saying that was very manageable. And
yeah, we had all our officers working, and then we had assistance from the Clay County Sheriff's Office, and they helped with traffic and crowd control. But the crowd was very well behaved. We didn't have any real problems whatsoever.
Wonderful. Speaking of your staff, how many do you have currently on the police force?
There's 7 of us, and there will be an opening for a part-time officer here coming up soon.
So is it 7 full-time people, or are they mainly part-time, or?
It's 3 full-time, and then we'll have room for 5 part-time officers.
I see. Okay. Now, I did see a new face with a ponytail on your staff. Would you like to tell us a little bit about your new
officer? Jessica Lamblay was hired here approximately in April, and she's doing well. She's the only female right now that we currently have on our staff.
Wonderful. Yeah, so your staff, and you'll still be looking for one.
Still be looking for an additional one here, hopefully rather soon.
Okay. Well, we're just going to take a little break, talk a little bit more to Chief of Police Hanson about what's going on in your department. And we're back with Chief Hanson, and let's talk a little bit about Holly being on Highway 10 and how I would imagine because of the lake traffic, there's just many more cars passing through on the weekends. How does that complicate things for your department?
Well, Highway 10 is a very busy highway, which the traffic does really increase with lakes traffic for the summer. The speed limit on Highway 10 is 65. When they get to Holly, they know they're supposed to slow down to 55, and sometimes people either forget or just fail not to slow down. So we're out there trying to make sure that, number one, the traffic slows down when they go through Holly, because it is a safety factor. There's some cross streets that are very hard to get across Highway 10. So we like to see the traffic slow down a little bit. So you'll see some traffic enforcement on Highway 10. We see a lot of boats and trailers, campers being pulled through there now, and for the most part traffic is good, but there's, that safety factor with that large, huge amount of traffic.
Yeah, and I know that the kids that go to the ball diamonds there, they usually bus those kids for summer rec, I know, because that I wouldn't want my child crossing the highway, on a Friday when it's so busy, but I know you do a nice job with that. How about things like DUIs during the summer? Does that increase?
It tends to increase because the people that go to the lakes are, they're on their own time, they're vacationing, they're relaxing, and they're having some adult beverages, and sometimes people tend to drive after that, and that's where we come in, and we certainly want to prevent anyone from having accidents or driving while they're intoxicated. So you'll see not just Holly out there, but you'll see the Clay County Sheriff's Office and the Minnesota State Patrol also doing campaigns like traffic blitzes for seatbelt, and then also for safe and sober campaigns where they're actually out looking for drunk drivers.
Really? Okay, and that just happens periodically then, or?
There's different times that are scheduled. A lot of times we'll try to schedule some of those around holidays or maybe an event or so that's happening within the community. But when traffic is going to be picked up, we certainly want to make the other drivers safe and not have to worry about being hit by a drunk driver.
Sure. Well, so that's Highway 10. Let's talk about the streets in Holly. Usually summertime is equated with street work being done, and I'm wondering about some safety factors there.
Well, you'll see Holly will have a number of streets that are going to be repaired. The major repaired street, or they're going to be doing some work, will be on 15th Street, as well as we'll be patrolling 15th Street quite a bit more now because we want to get traffic to slow down. It's still a gravel road.
Yeah, so that's the one going past Tony's and the cemetery, correct?
That's correct.
That's 15th
It's
Street.
north-south, right off of Highway 10 as well.
Okay.
And so we want to get traffic to slow down on that one. The other streets, there's some streets that have deteriorated throughout winter. I think winter was rather hard on them this year. And so you'll see some repairs in not maybe the entire street, but certain blocks of the streets. So people need to be patient and try to find some alternate routes if it affects their path and where they need to get to or where they live and so forth.
Are there ever any accidents in town related to that with the construction, or are people
Well,
pretty
there was
cognizant?
some accidents when the weather was a little more, with the snow, I should say, and ice. During the summer, the accidents probably go down quite a bit simply because the road surfaces are much more favorable to drive on, and people don't seem to drive as fast in the town areas. At the intersections, they've been doing well. It hasn't been that many accidents.
Good to know. Well, thank you so much for helping us keep safe. There are things that we can do that we will certainly try to do, but thanks again for coming to the show.
Thank you.
Until next time.